afternoon and welcome to this special edition of Island Stat Sports Talk. I'm your host, Earl Based, and joining me is the Under-19 national coach, Clay Smith, just been named the Under-19 national coach by the Bermuda Cricket Board. First of all, Clay, congratulations. We have, at this age group, we've been challenged, especially in the ICC Americas tournament. When I say we've been challenged, we've struggled at this age group for a number of years in the under-19 tournament. You've only got 4 months to get this team ready, picking up from where Gennaro Tucker, the previous coach, left off. But what's the plan for immediate effect for 4 months being ready for a tournament in August?
Yeah, so basically we're looking to have some trials next week, 2 nights next week, because we don't want to miss any player that could possibly play in this age group. So we're going to have these 2 trials that gives myself and Reggie a good opportunity to look at all the players. I also know that most of the players are home from overseas at this current time as they're on a spring break.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a good opportunity for us to see everybody and give all the youngsters a chance to come out and showcase their talents, and then we'll go from there. We'll look to pick a training squad. We're not too sure exactly how many we want to make that. That's something that we'll have to discuss. And then it's like you said, it's 4 months, 4 months of hard work, basically building up to the tournament.
Yeah, in the last few years, we've seen the under-19s playing in the first division. Last year, we saw a little change to it where they added a few senior players into a team to help guide them throughout the game. Where do you see, how do you see that playing out this year? Because leaving them out there, kind of by themselves is kind of difficult at times when, they're all trying to figure out what they're supposed to be doing at the same time. But if you have some leaders on the field that can actually help them, not worried about the results, it's more about, when to make those bowling changes, when to make those fielding changes, when to do the certain thing, instead of the coach having to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. There's some good and some bad to that, because at the end of the day, when the players get on the field, this year is tournament time. So when the players get on the field, they're not going to have nobody there to guide them. They're going to have to guide themselves. So they're going to have to learn quickly and make some decisions. There's some discussions that need to be had. I'm not exactly sure that they're gonna have a team in the league, because at the beginning, if I'm correct, they're gonna be starting with a T20. So that's not their focus right now. Their focus will be in the longer version of the cricket. So that's some discussions that need to be had. But ideally, I would want the players to go out there and fend for themselves. They're going to have to learn how to tough it out. This group, from what I've looked at, um, is a fairly good group. It's a very talented group. You have the 2 Lukes from up at Warwick, Luke
Mhm.
Fulton, Luke Horn. You have the boys, Uriah Tomlinson. You have Keegan Jones. Just to name a few, Isaiah O'Brien, so they're not a bad group of players. They're a decent group of players, you know what I mean? But what happened, I know last year, a lot of these guys were overseas in school when they were playing some matches or whatever. But hopefully everybody will be back home on island, and we'll be able to train together as a unit come the last 2 months, or maybe the last month, depending on when they get out of school. That's going to be the tough part about it, But I'll be communicating, myself and Reggie, we'll be communicating with them on a constant basis. The good thing for those guys that are in school in England, they'll be getting an abundance of training out there. They train day and night, like 5-6 days of the week or whatever. So we're not too concerned about them. It's just about getting them back and gelling with the remainder of the team and making sure that they understand the game plans that we put in place.
Yeah. Even when you were playing, we Bermuda struggle with the turning ball. Obviously, that's a big issue for us. How do you combat that in training to make sure? Because we know that USA, especially USA and Canada, have an abundance of spinners that at the national level and the youth national levels as well, that kind of always put us in a little bit of a spot of bother.
Yeah, well, there's different things that you can do. There's different drills that you put the players through, but like you said, unfortunately, there's only four months left, and but we will do everything in our power to basically try to give them the tools that are necessary to help them to overcome, betting against their spinner teams that do have the abundance of spin or whatever the case may be. But again, it's about getting them in the middle and practicing the things that we actually want them to help them to implement. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because not everybody has the confidence, i.e., for an example, to go bat on off stump for an off spinner. That takes some practicing and building of confidence for players to do
Mhm.
certain things like that to negate these spinner.
Yeah.
So it's things like that you can work on, but it's all about confidence, and work ethic. So I believe this group is a very good group of players that want to put the work in and will put the work in. So yeah, we just have to wait and see and how it all turns out.
Yeah. We often pick players in the past. I'm talking about in the past. We've picked players that could play in this tournament on multiple occasions, and
Mhm.
we don't seem to be able to get past the starting blocks. Is it important that we pick players that are of the age that's going to be able to try and get us out of the group into the next round, or do we look to say, okay, so you're on contract until 2027, so you have another year at it, but are we picking a team for next year, or are we picking a team to go through this year?
Well, looking at the players that we have on board, the players that I just named, these guys, some of them, this will be their last year.
Hmm.
I want to say every 10 years, we tend to go in a cycle where we have a group that is really, really strong. Years ago, way back then, you had the OJ and that group, OJ, Delwan, Taryn, and Chris Douglas, that group that qualified. Then there was another 10 years went by, you had the Del Reyes, the Alex Doors, and those guys that came through. So I
Hmm.
think it's a whole cycle. And I think this year, this is a very good group. This is a group that I would expect them to, have some success. Like I said, I named the two Luke brothers, the two Luke boys, not brothers, Luke Fulton, Luke Horns, Arai. All these guys have the overseas in England playing cricket consistently in cricket school. So there's a good foundation, but it's a matter of the supporting cast around them,
Hmm.
because you can't just depend on those guys to score runs and get wickets all the time. Other players
Right.
have to chip in. You have Sakeem Robinson. There's some other players that are in that age group that have some good experience from down at St. Davis. A couple of boys from down at St. Davis that played there.
Hmm.
So, like I said, that's why we want to have these trials to make sure that we're not missing anybody and we're getting the best players possible for this year possible. Yes, there may be one or two that would still be eligible for the next. Go round in 2 years' time. But
Hmm.
we're focusing hard on this tournament right here to really make a good account of ourselves.
Yeah. What's an ideal situation? All these guys playing in the Premier Division, or just playing cricket on weekends?
Just playing cricket as much as they're playing cricket as much as playing as much cricket as possible. Getting the opportunity to get because they could be playing, but are they getting the opportunity to bat? Are they getting the opportunity to bowl? You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So it's
Hmm.
making sure they get as much cricket and batting and bowling as possible over the next couple of months. But at the same time, also realizing that we're going to be training. They're going to be training with the clubs. Also, is also balancing and giving them that make necessary rest in between that they're not burning them out.
Hmm.
Come when tournament time comes around, these guys we don't want these guys totally dead and fatigued because they work so hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, all right. Well, you know that you got your work cut out for you, because you still are coaching a league team as well. So make sure you don't get burnt out, because
That's
there's a lot
again.
of work to be put into.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. To be quite honest with you, I've already made a bold decision. Normally, I would have a summer camp for the whole month of July, and I've already told my parents that this summer I won't be having a summer camp. Somebody else will probably be taking it over, but I won't be doing it just because of my commitment to St. George's and my commitment to the under 19 national team. I know that I need my rest as well. So yeah.
Mm. All right. Well, we want to wish you all the best, and hopefully during these trials you get to see a couple of diamonds in the rough, and then we can mold them into winners. And then come August, we get off to a good start and we end up making it to the next round of the World Cup, or making it to the World Cup. So it's all, it's 4 months of hard work. I don't think, we could all say it's not ideal, but hey, more special things have happened in a short space of time.
Exactly, exactly. I totally agree. And like I said, I'm sure the boys are up for it. They've been ever since they knew that I was had my name in the that I was named the national coach or whatever. They've already been hitting me up, interested and keen to get started. So, yeah, we
All
look
right.
forward to it. Reggie and I have been talking, and we're ready to go.
Good thing the phone line from St. George's to Somerset worked very well. Tell my mate Reggie I said hello, man.
Yeah, no problem. We'll do, man. We'll
All
do.
right. All right. Well, good luck, Clay, and to Reggie and to the team. We'll be in touch as things get closer to the time. And obviously, once that team is selected, or even a training team is selected, we'll be able to get an update on all the proceedings of that. All right.
Okay, cheers, mate. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks a lot.